Hey everybody, hope you're having a great day and doing well. Today I am here with a quick video on how to help you ensure that you hit your yearly real estate income goals, regardless of whatever those may be. It could be 100K, 250K, half a million, a million plus, it doesn't matter. This is the same formula or process that we use within our organizations to help ensure that our agents hit their yearly income goals, whatever those may be. Now, for this video, for just example purposes and just quick math sakes, I'm gonna go ahead and use a goal of 100,000. Typically, when I'm speaking to agents, that's more often than not the number that most agents want to hit their first year in real estate, which is totally epic. It's a great, start and foundation for us to grow upon. So I'm gonna go ahead and start there, use 100K for example purposes within this video. Now, from there, we gotta figure out one, if it's 100K, how many transactions is it ultimately going to take for us to make that a reality, right? So what we need to figure out and start with is, what does our average commission look like? Now, again, I'm going to use very simple, just rounded numbers just to make it easier for this example purpose. So let's start off with a purchase price or a list price of 500,000. Okay, we're here in Arizona, so our average price point is a little bit higher. Depending on where you're at, it could be lower, but we're going to use 500,000 as a median and for this example. So if we took a $500,000 escrow at a 2.5% compensation. Now, obviously that's negotiable. It could be lower, it could be higher. The last time I checked at the data, it was still about 93, almost 94% of escrows had about a 2.5% compensation being paid out. Again, that's an average here in Arizona, so check your local market. But again, that's what we're gonna use for math sakes. So $500,000 purchase price, 2.5% compensation. That is going to make the compensation on that transaction once it closed $12,500 set to be paid out. Now, from there, you got to factor in your splits, right? So I'm going to go ahead and make this as more realistic as possible, just so that way if you're on a higher split, obviously this is going to be, less escrows you need to do, or you're going to hit your income goal faster. But let's just say you're on the average of a 60-40 split. 60 to the agent, 40 to either the broker, the team, any fees or costs, anything like that. Again, there's multiple compensation plans all across the country, but that's typically what we see on an average. So let's just say that you as the agent, you're gonna net 60% of that commission, which ends up breaking down to $7,500 take home. So $500,000 purchase price, 2.5% commission, or 2.5% compensation, which equates to $12,500 to be paid out. 60% that you're gonna get a take home is $7,500. Now, if we took that $7,500 and we divided it in to our goal, whatever our goal may be, in this case, again, 100,000, that ends up being 13.3 transactions, right? So in a rolling 12 months to hit that $100,000 goal, we're gonna need to close at least 13.3 transactions to make that a reality. Now, if you're a newer agent or you may be taking some time off and you're getting back into the industry, that might seem like a pretty steep feat. Well, we like to chunk it down. If we divided that again by 12, that ends up being about 1.1 closings per month that needs to be done to help ensure that we hit our 13.3 yearly transactions to help us ensure that we hit our 100K goal. Now again, it doesn't matter if your income goal is higher, it would be that same process. So maybe your transactions increases, maybe you are on a higher split, so maybe it's less transactions to get to that amount. Great, that's awesome and epic, and that's what everybody should be working and striving towards. But again, this is just entry-level numbers, so that way, no matter what season of business you're in, you can see that this is a realistic possibility and a good stepping stone for you to keep growing on, right? Maybe this is your year one goal. Then year two, we bump it up a bit. Then year three and year four, right? We're always increasing it, but how we get there doesn't change, right? Maybe the number of transactions that we need increases, but that's all that's gonna differ, right? So first, is one, understanding what your average commission is going to be, in this case $7,500, which then led us to understand and identify how many yearly transactions that's going to be, in this case 13.3. But then when we chunk it down to make it a lot more digestible, we only need 1.1 closings per month to make that a reality. Now, from there, this is when having your lead generation process or strategy comes into play, right? Because as we all know here in real estate, there's 101 ways to go get leads, clients, and compensation. Which also could stifle a lot of agents. They don't know what to do. There's all these different shiny objects. They want to try them all right. We like to start off with at least 2 to 3. Pick 2 to 3 lead generation strategies that are going to ensure that you make that 1.1 closings per month. So it could be open houses, door knocking, expireds, FSBO, social media, YouTube channels, organic social, community groups, whatever it is, right? Know what you're gonna do. Again, we recommend doing 2 to 3 things. So in this example, I'm gonna use open houses and social media. So what we do within our organization is we would make sure that if they're doing open houses, the frequency and consistency in which our agents are doing it lines up to help ensure that they're gonna hit that 1.1 closings per month doing open houses. Now, here in our market, we know that it's about 11 bodies to come through an open house for there to be an escrow somewhere in there. Well, if I was gonna do 4 open houses a month and I had 2 people come through, 2 people come through, 2 people come through, and 2 people come through, that's only 8 people, 8 bodies, right? That's not statistically enough to ensure that I have an escrow in there. So I either need to do more marketing, branding, advertising on the open house to bring out traffic, maybe increase signage, maybe pick a better location or a newer property, whatever it may be. But we just gotta know the lead generation activity we're gonna do and commit to get that 1 transaction per month, but then the numbers, the frequency and consistency within that lead source, so that way we're actually giving it the proper time frame or duration or effort that it ensures that we're gonna make that transaction, right? So I say that because maybe you only wanted to do 4 open houses a month, but you didn't have enough bodies come through for there to be an escrow. You might have to do another 1 or 2, right? Until we start getting the traffic higher, right? So something to be mindful of. But again, we're also gonna do 2 different things. So we're doing open houses, but then we're also gonna do social media, as I mentioned. So if we're gonna do social media, how many times a day are we gonna post? What are we gonna post? How many days a week are we gonna post? At what time frames each day are we gonna post? You wanna know the specifics, so that way you're doing it as consistently as you would with anything else, right? So typically within our organization, we recommend posting at least 3 times a day. Posting, not stories. Stories are great, but that's the cherry on top. There's a reason why we suggest posting. If you're curious, reach out. I'd be happy to go over that with you. But we say post. So 3 posts a day, 7 days a week, and you could do 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and 1 in the evening. Now, as your content gets better, as you start getting a bigger audience, more engagement, more interaction, more leads and clients from it, you could obviously dissipate that and maybe go to 2 postings a day, 1 posting a day, right? As long as you're hitting your goals, great. But we recommend at least starting off with 3 posts a day, every single day, so Monday through Sunday, and then once in the morning, evening, and then afternoon, but then also specific things that we teach our agents to post, so that way the frequency and consistency in which they're posting and active on social will also ensure that they're gonna get 1 closing a month from just social. So what happens is again, we're doing open houses and we're doing social. Well, maybe 1 month we get 1 closing from open houses, and then maybe the next month we get 1 closing from social media. At some point, what always ends up happening is that they end up kind of linking up and just growing in congruency together. So what's gonna end up happening is there's gonna come a point in time, typically several months down the line, where you're getting your 1 closing from your open houses, but now you're also getting your 1 closing from social media. So now you're getting at least 2 closings a month, right? Which will do one of a couple things. 1, it's gonna ensure that you hit your goal. 2, you could probably hit your income goal faster. 3, you could over exceed your income goals. So maybe you wanted to hit 100K, but because of the gasoline you keep putting on the fire and you keep going hard with it, maybe you hit 150, 175K, right? Or 4th and lastly, maybe you do a combination of all of them. You over exceed your goal, you do it in a faster time frame, and it was with way less transactions, or maybe you ended up even doing more because you went harder, but you ultimately ended up ensuring that you hit your goals. So something just to be mindful of with the team or the brokerage you're either considering joining or that you're on. If they're not going over this with you, how are they going to ensure that you are actively on track to hit your goals, right? Meaning, like, if your goal this year was to hit 100,000, but you hit 60,000, okay, that happens. But what are they going to do and put in place to ensure that in 2026 you are in fact going to hit that 100K or exceed it? If they can clearly articulate how they're going to get you from where you're at to where you want to go, that might be a red flag, right? So something to be mindful of, because what we don't want our agents to do is repeating the same year after year. Whether it's a mediocre year, they didn't hit their goals, they did okay, but again, they weren't where they wanted to be, but then they keep repeating that. Or we don't want our agents to have an amazing epic year and then put that on repeat, right? We either want to increase their income or increase their time freedom, or do a combination of the two. So that's what we're always looking to do within our organization. So if you need help with any of your 2026 goal planning, any of your systems or processes in regards to lead generation to ensure you hit your goals, reach out, hit us up anytime. We love helping out. This is exactly what we do. If you're interested in partnering with us, you can kind of get a little insight in regards to how we ensure we hit your goals. And then from there, it makes it very easy to go ahead and grow upon. You'll see we're very adamant and big on tracking within our industry, or organization, I should say, because the majority of the industry doesn't. But in our organization, we believe in tracking, because you can't grow what you don't know. So once you're, putting your activities together, you start getting those results, and then you want to go ahead and double, 3x, 5x your income goals. We now have the data of what you were doing, when you were doing it, the results in which you were doing it, so that way we know how much we need to increase it, or bump up the frequency, or how many leads we need to add to it, or how many more open houses we need to do, or maybe how many agent partners or showing agents or just help or assistance that we need to bring in to help your business continue to grow and scale. So if there's anything that we could do on our end to help you either end 2025 strong, or help you with your 2026 goals, make sure that it's not a repeat of last year, and that you're actually having success and predictable and consistent income within your real estate business, please reach out to us anytime. Our contact info will either be in the details or in the post or wherever it is you're seeing it. Just reach out anytime. We're always here to help. Hope everybody has a great day. You guys take care.